Okay, so this book is the biography of Elon Musk that came out last year, I believe. And I found it to be freaking scary and fascinating. This guy is, I would argue, more important than Steve Jobs. We don't see it yet, but we will eventually. So here's some things I found interesting from the book. The most striking part of Elon's character as a young boy was his compulsion to read. From a very young age, he seemed to have a book in his hands at all times. It was not unusual for him to read 10 hours a day, said Kimball. If it was the weekend, he could go through 2 books in a day. The family went on numerous shopping excursions in which they realized mid-trip that Elon had gone missing. May or Kimball would pop into the nearest bookstore and find Elon somewhere near the bag, sitting on the floor and reading in one of his trance-like states. So, this is fascinating because, people who read a lot are usually going to earn a lot more money than the person who doesn't. And of course, Mark Twain has a quote, person who does not read has no advantage over the person who doesn't know how to read. Charles Munger, Warren Buffett, they talk about reading all the time. You know. But it's fascinating because Elon Musk, it goes on to mention how in the 3rd or 4th grade he had already read all the books in his school library. So he started reading the Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay. It just fascinates me. Okay, so this is basically, it shows Elon's persistence, his determination, his tenacity. And this was just in college when he was trying to pursue a girl. He basically wouldn't take no for an answer, which is how, I don't know. Could be insanity, could be brilliance. I'm gonna go with brilliance. So this is Justine, his ex-wife. But, and this is in college. He would call very insistently, she said. You always knew it was Elon because the phone would never stop ringing. The man does not take no for an answer. You can't blow him off. I do think of him as the Terminator. He locks his gaze onto something and says, "It shall be mine." Bit by bit, he won me over. So yeah, persistence is king, even if it's insane. But yeah, and this is just a quote about Elon. It kind of relates to the last thing I just talked about, but when Elon gets into something, he develops just this different level of interest in it than other people. That is what differentiates Elon from the rest of humanity. And yeah, and Charles Munger also talks about this, how his success is derived from being able to concentrate on one thing and not spending too much money. But yeah, and this one's about Elon's managerial style, his leadership, how he gets people to do things that would seem impossible to 99% of the population, and how he gets them to do it on a deadline. Okay, so where a typical manager may set the deadline for the employee, Musk guides his engineers into taking ownership of their own delivery dates. He doesn't say, "You have to do this by Friday at 2 p.m., Brogan said. He says, "I need the impossible done by Friday at 2 p.m. Can you do it?" Then, when you say yes, you are not working hard because he told you to. You are working hard for yourself. It's a distinction you can feel. You have signed up to do your own work. Crazy psychological hack Elon does. Okay, this one I found to be the most scary thing about Elon, and also inspiring, freaking unbelievable. The absolute worst thing that someone can do is inform Musk that what he's asking is impossible. An employee can be telling Musk that there's no way to get the cost on something like that actuator down to where he wants it, or that there is simply not enough time to build a part by Musk's deadline. Elon will say, "Fine, you are off the project, and I am now the CEO of the project. I will do your I, I will do your job and be CEO of two companies at the same time. I will deliver it," Brogan said. And what's crazy is that Elon actually does it. Every time he's fired someone and taken their job, he's delivered on whatever the project was. That's dedication, that's leadership, that's yeah. And that is it. Oh god, I would recommend this book to anyone who I don't know, to anyone who thinks they want to change the world. Because what you realize at a certain point, it's not a 40-hour work week. Like, we're talking 80 to 100 hours a week with a clear purpose, commitment, and insanity. And maybe you'll get lucky, as Elon has. But yeah, if you think you're working hard, look at Elon Musk and realize you're not working hard enough. It's as simple as that.